Thanks for taking a few minutes to take a look at what we have to offer online to go along with your Hamilton Essentials book. Now, I do realize that this course might be undergoing some changes in the future, but I still think there are some things here that you might want to make use of during this uncertain time of teaching this upcoming year. Now, what I'm going to show you, I can set up for any of you to play around with. I set up a course here. As we look at this course, realize you can do anything you want. You can teach just the way you've taught and just use this ebook. The ebook would be much less expensive for students. Many of them prefer it. It does have some added features. Now, the other things you're going to see, you can use, you can not use, you can hide them, you can make them for practice, you can do really whatever you want. So essentially, this is the table of contents of the book. We call it the learning path. So if we look at any chapter, they're all set up the same way. At the start, there's going to be a video, or excuse me, a quiz, just to test the kids on things that the chapter is going to cover. So the purpose of this is just to get them a little bit interested and exciting about what they're going to read. And then they go to read, they click on this, and it goes to their ebook. The ebook is identical to the regular book, printed book. It has a few features. They can highlight things. It'll all go to their study hub so they can see all their highlights. They can put notes in. But what is also nice, if you, the instructor, want to highlight something in orange, you can do that. All right. And that would go to every student's ebook. You can do the same thing with a note. Hey, this is on the test. Remember my example of, please read this twice, whatever the case might be. Also, another feature is it can be read to the students. Any word can be read if they don't know how to pronounce it, but the whole thing can be read. So that's nice, especially if they want to use their mobile app. They can listen to it on their phone while they're exercising. So that's a brief overview of the ebook. Right after that, you see there's 4 activities. These are usually open-ended things, and honestly, for most of you, I don't know that you'd want to have them there as an assignment, but you can sure look at those if you want. Then there's practice. Every chapter has some links to it that you may or may not want to use, but just sending students different places to see different information. Then there's a few questions here that you might want to use. Under the do, there's a chapter quiz. So if you wanted some way of evaluating if they read the chapter, this is an easy way to do it. So many will assign this and just make this as part of their homework grade, enough to make kids do it, pay attention, but not enough that it's truly significant. And then there's a reflect activity that just has them go back and think about what they did in some open-ended questions. Now, I'm going to go down a type of speeches because there's some real neat things here. So, and a lot of times there'll be videos. Sometimes these videos will be right in the ebook. All right. But we're going to have basically 3 types of activity called prepare, practice, and present. So prepare is going to help take them through an outline on how to do their speech. Now, a way of seeing these real quickly is also over here on the right, we have this outline builder. And the outline builder shows all of the outlines that are built into the ebook. All right. And basically what the outline builder does is it takes them through the process. First, hey, you have to pick a topic. Students have trouble picking topics. Here's some questions that might help them find a topic. That'll work for them. Then research. Okay, preparing their research. How do you go about it? Some guided questions. All right. Then the outline itself. Again, they can just fill out those spots and it guides them through it. And it can even help them with their note cards. So some people just love that feature and that has really helped their students. Others don't do the outlines quite that way. So that they don't make quite as much use of it. Another feature over here is our speech library. And this is just what it says. It's a library with a whole bunch of speeches. So students can go on and look at, and some of the speeches you notice aren't necessarily good speeches. All right. So it all depends. And they can view different kinds of speeches. All right. So that's kind of a fun thing for students to do. They all like watching other people have to go through the process. And then when we practice and prepare your speeches, just like it says, they're going to be able to practice right here online. It will record them, and then they can review it and view it back. So sometimes on the impromptu speech, they or you can set up a topic. It'll say, okay, you have a minute to study this or decide on it, or 5 minutes, whatever you want. And then they have to give their speech. So it's truly impromptu. So the practice is a way of they can record speeches and then present. They're going to do the same thing. They'll present in front of their computer. It will record them. And then you, the instructor, can view it, or you can set it up so the class or a group can view it. And there's a rubric for how those can be graded should you want to use that. Want to practice, and this happens to be the informative speech. So it reviews what is required. Then they're going to click add, and they just click on video, and they can start recording. So I'm not sure how this transcends taking a film of me taking a film, but you click record and they would record it. All right. You see the audio levels, very easy for students to do. All right. So they'll record the speech and then they stop it, and then they can download it or submit it in varying ways, or they don't like it and want to redo it. So it's very easy, all in one program for them to record this. And the presenting part is going to be the same type of activity. All right. So play around with this. Let me know what questions you have. Um, we're here to help. We can do really anything you want. We will save your students money. We think we can make it easier for you guys also. Thank you for your time and consideration. Please let me know how I can be of assistance.